guy, and the detail that we have right now, we jump ahead to graphic 1. He apparently believed that the 2020 election was stolen. That's all we know. We don't know for sure if he was MAGA, but I don't know why, if he was a Biden person that thought the election was stolen, he'd be bombing January 6th. So it's looking like, no, it wasn't actually an anti-Trumper. It wasn't an inside job, Dan Bongino. Once again, you're an absolute moronic conspiratorial dingus. It was yet another violent insurrection. So that's what it looks like. We'll see.
And he's also only saying that he's not, like, now that he's not getting paid for his opinions, he's spitting facts. He's just saying that. These guys got the job because they would just crawl up Trump's butt and shout in the cavernous echo that is something Big Macs. They would just shout, "Yes, sir, whatever you want me to say, I will repeat that." Yeah. And I like, just because he said he's telling the truth now doesn't mean he is. And also with all this stuff, like, how does it take, in this day and age, how does it take you so long to find these people when there's like a camera on every corner?
Yeah.
That's the thing that's like, I feel like we should just, if we are gonna live in a surveillance state, we should be able to catch people less than 5 years after they do stuff.
And that is like basically what they say they used.
They just seeing the video of like guy in a hoodie walking, like just find where the bombs went off and just keep rewinding that corner's camera. Like the hardest part should be finding where the next camera is located.
Yeah. And I guess that took 5 years. I don't know. But anyway, so we'll see. Maybe we'll get more details. If we don't hear anything more about this, it's probably because it was just another January 6th person. It was another insurrectionist. They wanted to kill a bunch of people, overturn the results of the election. We'll see. Maybe that's what it ends up being. Right now it's allegations, but yeah, it's so fascinating how gung-ho he is on this sort of stuff. And then he gets in there and all of a sudden he's got barely anything to say. He barely even shows up. He's covering up for Epstein. Man, has he deflated in this new position. But anyway, that's going to be all the time we have for the show today. Thank you, Brett. Thank you to all of the co-hosts who filled in while I was in the Redwoods, which I'll talk more about in the future. And thank you to my team behind the scenes as well for holding things down. Thank you all for being here. I will be leading the first hour of the Young Turks with Cenk Uygur later on today, so definitely join us for that. For now, though, stay safe out there, stay sane out there, and we'll see you soon.
While the theme music never gets old, some of what's going on, a lot of what's going on in the country is just, well, it's stale. It's so stale. And yet here we are. And here he is. Jackson White joins us as our special guest co-host today. Welcome to Indisputable with Dr. Rashad Ritchie. Doc is dealing with some production matters. That's fair to say. He's got his eye on us, but he is a little distracted, so we can have a little fun, Jackson.
Just a little bit, but we always hold it down pretty nicely. So I think we're ready to roll. So. And it's Friday, so hopefully people have either some fun weekend plans or maybe you're going to catch up on some rest, So let's help lead people into a decent weekend.
Do whatever you want this weekend. Just don't jump in a fishing boat in a certain region and decide that you're going to just, kick it, because you never know what's going to fall out of the sky. You never know. With that, we'll begin with this one. Hegseth, as in Pete, ousted admiral who raised concerns about boat strikes. U.S. Southern Command head Admiral Alvin Halsey will now retire 2 years ahead of schedule. It'll happen December 12th, so about a week away from our air date here. Halsey had raised concerns over the legality of Hegseth's boat strikes. Now his retirement has been announced for him. You understand what's going on here? Aren't you ready to retire? No, you are. You are. You will. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth asked the 4-star Navy admiral overseeing the U.S. military strikes against boats in the Caribbean to step down after the top officer voiced concerns about the murky legality of the attacks. The Hill filling in some of the reporting for us. U.S. Southern Command head Admiral Alvin Halsey will retire 2 years ahead of schedule, December 12th, following months of discord between him and Hegseth. The Wall Street Journal reporting Hegseth announced the surprise retirement October 16th, with Halsey only 1 year into his tenure and during a major new military operation, an extraordinary move, lawmakers and experts said at the time. Tensions between the two had simmered since the start of the year, when the newly confirmed Hegseth met with Halsey via a secure video conference, two Pentagon officials and former officials telling the outlet, "You're either on the team or you're not." Can you imagine? I done had bosses like this, and well, now I'm with you here too, IT, because I've been clear. You may be my boss, my superior, but you damn sure ain't going to talk to me that way. Okay? It's not going to happen. On your best day, not going to happen. But these are uniformed men, stand up for themselves the way they can, and I believe did. "You're either on the team or you're not," Hegseth reportedly told Halsey at the time. "When you get an order, you move out fast and don't ask questions." I think we left a word out. I think it ended with boy. That's in my mind. I think he ended it with boy, because that's exactly the type. I know the type. Later in March, Hegseth ordered Halsey to develop military options to ensure the U.S. had full access to the Panama Canal after President Trump said he wanted to reclaim that strategic waterway. But the Pentagon chief felt Halsey didn't move quickly enough on the plans, according to the Journal. Now, boy, it's not going overboard to say it like that. Now, Hegseth also suspicious that Halsey may have leaked details about those options when such media reports surfaced, one former official telling the outlet. Then this past summer, when the U.S. military began striking boats off the coast of Venezuela that the administration claimed without evidence were carrying drugs bound for America, Halsey was reportedly concerned about the tenuous legal authority for that campaign. It's quite amazing that a guy who everybody hates is looking at one black man as the leak. Because, yeah, we have all the connections in mainstream media. That's us, right? It wouldn't be written a certain way if we had all the connections. Just think about that. Your mom doesn't like you. Maybe she leaked it. Halsey objected that parts of the operations fell outside his direct control, as other military units under separate chains of command were also involved in the strikes. That's according to the journal. But even before Halsey's concerns, Hegseth reportedly had lost confidence in him and was looking for his replacement. He lost confidence in him as soon as he realized he was a bit tan. I don't need proof. The proof is in the pudding. The proof is in all of his actions up to this point, to date, since birth, perhaps. Even before Halsey's concerns, Hegseth reportedly lost confidence in him. He was looking for his replacement. Tension came to a head with a confrontation between the two at the Pentagon in early October, to be a fly on the wall for that one. Multiple outlets reported at the time that Halsey and Hegseth were at odds over the U.S. mission in the Caribbean, but Pentagon spokesperson Sean Parnell at the time dismissed the stories as, quote, fake news, insisting there was no hesitation, no concerns about this mission. Pentagon official disputed the concerns over his retirement, too. Admiral Halsey was not fired. He was asked to retire on good terms. What the hell? When have you been asked to retire on good terms? Emmett Smith went to a whole nother team when they asked him to do that. Okay. Brett Favre as well. And he had trouble there, didn't he? Retire on good terms, they said. Since that time, the team has worked in harmony. We are grateful for his service to our nation. We wish him well in his future endeavors. Washington Post last week reported Pentagon's chief gave a spoken directive to kill everybody ahead of the U.S. military September 2nd attack against an alleged drug smuggling vessel in the Caribbean, an operation in which 11 narco-terrorists were killed. I mean, that's what they say. Look, Jackson, we can't. Some of what they say, Hegseth, may actually be true. There's some, right? He says a lot of words. Some of it may be true. But isn't it true that we can't trust, we should not take for granted that the things that he's saying, any of them are true without verification?
Well, I mean, Hegseth is known to be a generally dishonest person. Everybody tells white lies and, lies here and there. And there's a difference between that and trying to lie an entire nation into war. You know what I mean? Like, definitely levels to that type of activity. At the end of the day, I mean, this is just an authoritarian push of do what I say or else. But the problem is as we talk about often on here, America is a very large and complicated nation. And, the whole narrative of we're blowing up these boats for the safety of Americans has never sold. It's always been a lazy narrative. And, Donald Trump has many times said that we should go in and take the oil from Venezuela. I can't remember her name, but a representative from Florida was just on television saying, Venezuela's got the biggest oil coffers in the world and they're going to be open for business and it's going to be great. So, we've all seen this movie before. And at the end of the day, Donald Trump can't actually take over this country in full. He can't do it. He can destroy it further. He can divide it further, but they're not going to be able to get everybody in line with their ridiculous agenda.
You have to wonder, with our diminished reputations throughout the world, we only have a few allies, evil Axis type left who support us. And it's because, even though there's no honor among thieves, they like to hang out. They like to go to the resort together. But for the most part, the world hates us. And you have to wonder how much longer the world's going to let us keep doing these things. About the admiral and the forced retirement, I have no doubt in my mind that he didn't even leak the stories. There's plenty of other people who did. Probably the guy who Hegseth thinks is his best friend and drinking buddy leaked it. Okay. Will this admiral say more, do more? I don't even know if you can sue. Perhaps you can. I don't know. We have Jordan. Can this admiral sue? Is that the way the system's built? He cannot. He cannot. No recourse there. Will he write a book? Will he tell stories? Will we see him on CNN? Will he run for president? I mean, if he was a white admiral, that's what we would be asking. I'll give you the last word, Jackson. What is his ultimate fate?
I mean, I think that after this administration is over, he possibly could get back in some type of position in the military if he wants to. But at the end of the day, he's decorated. He has a very strong resume. So there's all types of stuff that he could do. So I think in that regard, he'll be just fine. But Pete Hegseth, he's caught up in a lot of trouble right now. Even Republicans are speaking out against him here and there. And he is not protected from prosecution the same way that the president is. So I think that he's in for some trouble at the end of this administration. In the midst of all this scandal that he's in, he just did another boat strike, I think yesterday.
Yep.
So
Defiance.
Pete Hegseth, his future is not looking bright. But the admiral, I think he'll be just fine.
Yeah, the admiral is a man of integrity. Well, I'm going to end with this. We're going to disagree. Hegseth probably will be. Something will happen. I don't know when. Okay, there's no statute of limitations on, I guess, murder. That said, act of war, outside of war, whatever you want to call it. If he gets that preemptive pardon, like the rest of his life, he'll escape any and all consequences.
Right, because Trump could do that. You're right.
That's right. All right, we'll move on to this one. You want to talk about escaping consequences? Let's go to New York. NYPD can do no wrong, except they're always doing things wrong. They are. Somewhere in New York on the force, somebody's doing something wrong. NYPD cops won't be charged for fatally shooting a 19-year-old man. NYPD officers will not be charged in that shooting. We do want to warn you, this video is, we'll call it unsettling, necessary to view, but unsettling. About 1 second after we cut this video, I do want to tell you the fatal shots were fired.
Let him go. Let go of him and back up. Let go of him. Nick! Please don't shoot my mother. Please not shoot my mom. We're not. Tell him to get the way. Get out of the way. Now. Out of the way. Get out of the way. Get out of the way. Please do not shoot my mom. Get her out of the way. I'm so sorry. Get her out of the way now. No. Satchel, get away.
Chilling, even if you didn't know what happens next. But we already told you. 2 New York City police officers won't be charged in the shooting death of a 19-year-old man during a mental health crisis last year, as his mother and brother begged the officers not to open fire. State Attorney General Letitia James's office said Thursday. Wynn Rosario was shot 5 times by the officers at his family's home in Queens, March 27, 2024, as he came at them while holding scissors in his hands. Police body cam footage showed that. Person in the home called 911 telling a dispatcher, "I think my son is on drugs and is acting mad, erratic," according to police. Office of Special Investigation in James's office concluded in its report that a prosecutor would not be able to disprove beyond a reasonable doubt that the officer's use of deadly force against Mr. Rosario was justified and therefore will not seek charges. The report also said the reasonableness of the fear the officers Salvatore Alonghi, Matthew Cianfrocco had when Rosario came at them with the scissors could not be disproven beyond a reasonable doubt. Both officers, however, still face an internal discipline trial on excessive force allegations by the city's Civilian Complaint Review Board, as well as a lawsuit by Rosario's family. Rosario's mother, Notani Costa, his father, Francis Rosario, and his brother, Ucho Rosario, criticized the decision not to prosecute the officers, State Attorney General Letitia James' cowardly decision not to indict NYPD officers Matthew Cianfrocco and Salvatore Alonghi for murdering our beloved son and brother, Wynn Rosario. Feels like we were watching Wynn get murdered all over again. That's the statement they released by the Justice Committee Advocacy Group. We were safe in our home until officers Cianfrocco and Alonghi walked in, created chaos. NYPD should not be engaging with people experiencing a mental health episode. Who could argue with that? Let's talk about the moments leading up to the shooting. After the officers entered Rosario's home, Rosario grabbed a pair of scissors in the kitchen, took a few quick steps toward the officers, prompting one of them to fire a taser. The police body cam footage showed Rosario's mother then wrestled the scissors away while holding on to him. Police ordered her to get out of the way, prompting her to plead, "Don't shoot," as she put the scissors on a chair and stepped aside. Situation then quickly escalated, an officer firing a taser again, Rosario picking up the scissors, walking toward police. One officer then fired his handgun at Rosario, whose mother rushed to him, followed by her younger son, who tried to pull her away. "Please do not shoot my mom," Rosario's brother cries. When Rosario was shot at least 4 times within minutes of officers entering the Rosario residence. Office of Special Investigations report recommends expanding citywide pilot programs that dispatch paramedics and mental health professionals as first responders to mental health emergency calls. Also recommends more training for officers on responding to such calls. It says the state should enact a law allowing public health-based resources and responses to people experiencing a mental health, alcohol use, or substance use crisis. This is so elementary. Can you believe it's December 2025 and someone's putting this out, well-meaning, I'm not disparaging anyone, but acting like some of us that's groundbreaking when it is so damn obvious. Mayor-elect Mamdani issuing this statement: "When Rosario's death was a senseless tragedy that brought pain to so many New Yorkers, most of all his loved ones," Mamdani said in a statement Thursday. He noted the officers are facing potential discipline and added, "What today's decision does not change is our obligation to do everything in our power to ensure this does not happen again. Our commitment to delivering the social services New Yorkers deserve and our investment in both genuine public safety and justice for all." Wynn Rosario, 19, just getting started, and another one wiped out. State-sanctioned violence. I mean, they are not going to be criminally charged. Look, these circumstances are supposed to be messy. That's what happens. You're having a mental health crisis. A family's calling out for help. God, that mother, Jackson, and her desperation to cling to the son, knowing that I need to be a human shield here, or else I will lose him. And then she loses him. She loses him. It is just gut-wrenching. We can talk about the details, and I want you to, but I also want to talk about what's going to change here. Mamdani said the right things. The family's fighting for justice. Can there be a new day in New York, at least with this kind of stuff?
Well, I think this will be some of Mamdani's proven grounds, and hopefully he can set a new precedent through his hiring practices and who he has spread out, among the municipalities throughout NYC, but also, investing in programs that can help provide more social work for situations like this, which was, put forth in the statement in response that we need social workers. We don't need police officers responding to this. And as you pointed out, this isn't new information. It's something that we've known for quite some time. But New York City being, New York being a blue state, New York City being, the most multicultural, diverse place in America, if there's any place that new policies can be addressed and put forth, I think New York is definitely one of them, particularly with the grass movement that Mamdani has behind him. It was definitely, a letdown to see Letitia James not carry forth a prosecution Um, basically the reasoning was that they couldn't prove malice, which is a can that can be endlessly kicked down the road in terms of proving what somebody meant.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, I think that this is a time where something actually can be done. And hopefully we do see that with Mom Donnie's term.
Yeah, I agree with you. I actually believe that it's so much of a heavy lift. It's just the beginning, but I believe that there's an opportunity. I think and again, the circumstances are murky. Scissors, once you start talking about getting in somebody's mind, as designed to be, it's almost impossible to go there. But it's also an example that just because you have a politician who's a woman of color, her office works in tandem with police, the courts every single day. Do not expect there to be a deviation. If you want to change, you have to take it. Just like the people of New York City said, nope, we don't care about your money. We don't care about the financial district. We are voting this guy in. And they did it. And they have to just keep going with that. We have another update for you. A man threatens a prosecutor who charged playground Karen. Let's give you a recap, though, of this one first.
You call him a child? Call the child. It is my own business. You call him. Okay, why don't you have the boss to say it right now again? To say. Somebody digging to you. That little kid, you call him the little child? Are you about to hit him? You chase him here?
He took my son's stuff.
So that gives you the right to call the child 5-year-old the N-word.
If that's what he's gonna act
That's
like.
what you're gonna call him.
That's what he's gonna act like.
That's a hate speech.
I have gotten every dime of my money. When I first found out that the park video was going viral, it was terrifying. I went on X and I saw Anglo-Saxon Girl had posted my video. I messaged her and I was like, hey, that's me. Just kind of needing somebody like-minded to talk to. I did not realize I was going to have so much support and have all of you people rally around me and have my back in this situation. And it was very overwhelming. I also just want to say how proud I am of everybody and just showing what can happen if we tribe up and if we stick together and if we keep fighting back. Our future, our existence depends on standing up for ourselves and not backing down. And we just have to keep on going. There's no other option. I mean, what else are we going to do? You can't be afraid of words. Don't be afraid of the people who are so fragile to a word.
Says the privileged white woman. In 3, 2, 1, she runs for something. And other dingbats vote her into office. Watch. She'll run for something. And I think she was being 100% honest there, except for the part where she was surprised about all the support. She's used the word, I know it in my soul, probably every day of her life around other like-minded people. So how can she be surprised at all of the support? Opens her mouth and immediately it's hard for the rest of us to breathe. Sicko. Remember that. In an update, South Carolina man is now accused of threatening a city attorney in Minnesota over charges filed against Shiloh Hendricks, who admitted to hurling that racist slur at a child with autism at a park because he grabbed a snack or a juice box or whatever from her kid. I feel sorry for her kid. Woman started an online fundraiser. She heard talking about her money and how she's gotten every cent. That was after the viral video. Her supporters donated more than $700,000. But the Rochester City Attorney's Office charged the woman with 3 counts of disorderly conduct back in August. Yeah, they did the right thing. They tried to do something here. The death threats that came after. Criminal complaint filed against a South Carolina man last week said the attorney's office, quote, received many phone calls from across the world that expressed opinions about the charging decision. Several messages allegedly came from the South Carolina man. In one, he threatened to travel all the way to your effing state to effing city. He says he's headed your way, folks. And I will start murdering every last one of you, the complaint states. Well, that's as clear as it gets. You got to take that seriously. Investigators identified the South Carolina man as a suspect using phone records. Law enforcement in that state visited his home. A detective from Rochester subsequently called him. The man said he was upset that the woman had been charged with a crime, but agreed to stop calling. That's according to the complaint. The man is charged with 1 felony count of threats of violence, 2 gross misdemeanor counts of harassment. God, it just amazes me. A vile, nasty, beastly woman who's attacking a child in a just disgusting way. So many running to her rescue. It was as if the little black boy whistled at her, Jackson.
Well, I mean, this is obviously a reflection of, what Donald Trump is spewing. And as I've talked about before, like, often this is unrelated, but not really, like his crackdown, for instance, like in Minnesota with Somalians and stuff like that. This is all Trump's base has left. This is a lot of what drives them in the first place. So it's not surprising that there's so much camaraderie that this man is talking about driving to his state and killing people for prosecuting a woman for hate speech. And her great fight against evil because she just wants to call 5-year-old kids on the playground the N-word, and no one should think ill of her for doing things like that. He raised almost $1 million for calling a 5-year-old the N-word. What does that say about so many people in this country and what they're actually how shallow and hollow the things are that they're fighting for, and how they've already lost the war? Like, they've been lost the Civil War, but just like y'all aren't even fighting for anything. And more this group of people shrinks. You got people more on the outskirts who were a part of MAGA, but they're falling off because they can't afford nothing. So more and more you just have the true believers and the nut jobs and the head cases. But unfortunately, that seems to be a good 20+% of Americans in this country. So, it's a big deal.
Yeah. I'm in Georgia, and there's so many Black people and progressive people who hear Atlanta and they say, oh, birthplace of civil rights. And it's great. I love Atlanta. It's great. But you step foot outside that perimeter. You want to talk about a throwback? You go to Stone Mountain, where I thought you lost the war. Why are these people carved in this beautiful mountain? Lee this, Lee that. Really? A huge argument with someone there. I'm minding my business, walking around. I'm telling my daughter, they've got these stupid plaques commemorating these treasonous as bastards, right? I'm telling my daughter, this is sick. And here comes a Karen, minded my business. I might have been talking a little loud. Yeah, that's our heritage. Why are you saying that? Mind your business, buddy. Unbelievable. She's celebrated. This is Indisputable with Dr. Rashad Ritchie. I'm Sharon Reed alongside Jackson White. Snacks. And do people still call you that a lot, Jackson?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think it's gonna stick forever.
I do
You know
too.
what I'm
I
saying?
do too. Why
Maybe
not?
forever. I like it. I'm gonna have to get some
Yeah.
t-shirts.
Okay. And that's all that matters. We will have much more to come, many more stories, your comments coming up.
Indisputable exclusive. Exclusive, disputable, exclusive. We brought you this first. No other news agency has this video. No other news agency has this story.
Every week on Indisputable, we do original, exclusive, investigative reporting you'll find nowhere else.
Our reports have been viewed by millions. Hosted by Sean King, Ben Crump, Senator John Ossoff.
You, through your investigative reporting, unearthed very troubling allegations about specific forms of abuse and discrimination in the federal prison system.
We catching these cases on camera. Just imagine the things that we don't see.
Our groundbreaking investigations and exclusive interviews bring you the real voices no one else wants you to hear. We tell the stories.
Imagine a prison that is so racist, the corrections officers contact me. That is a life or death situation being created. A black woman who was driving for Uber was allegedly assaulted by a white male passenger. After we got involved, roughly 24 hours later, the police all of a sudden opened up an investigation. What was going through your mind when bullets were simply flying inside of your vehicle?
Honestly, I thought I was going to die.
Did these officers ever say that you fit the description of somebody they were looking for? Did they say that?
Never.
Okay, that means they lied.
And we want you to be part of our truth-telling movement. Send pictures and video of stories no one else is telling and a 1 or 2 paragraph summary of the story to Indisputable's exclusive tip line at indvideos@tyt.com.
If you have more information about what's happening at this particular facility, please let me know.
Together, we're challenging the system, and together, we're making a difference.
I have the entire background to this story, and it is going to make your blood boil.
Indisputable with Dr. Rashad Ritchie, unveiling the truth, empowering the people. Weekdays at 2:30 p.m. Eastern, 11:30 a.m. Pacific.
Welcome back to Indisputable with Dr. Rashad Ritchie, Sharon Reed, Jackson White, our special guest co-host today, while Doc is getting some things organized behind the scenes. I love the TYT family so much, not just the people who, peer here. I'm honored to appear here, but our incredible family out there who comments. Because Mark NYC just gave me incredible hope, right? Jackson said Pete Hegseth would face consequences. He's in trouble. And I kind of agreed with that, but I said, he's just going to be let off the hook again. And then Mark reminds us of this. Trump pardons won't matter if the next president has the guts to remand Trump officials to The Hague for international trial. Do you know how much I would love that? Now, I think the chances are slim, Mark, but at least you gave us something to talk about. We could go into the booth, and before we press the lever, we can say, are you going to turn him over? Otherwise, you don't get my vote. Okay, we could do that. We actually could do that. So that's a great one. You just lifted my spirits, if you will. Good afternoon, Sharon, Jackson, mods, and chat. That's Mike. Nice to you. Good afternoon, Mike. DB Hawk 3, Sharon and Jax on Friday. Heck yeah. I think I do enjoy being with you. You're like my brother from another mother. You understand me. I think you get me. There's nothing I could say that you would say something's wrong with her. Maybe say maybe she's high. I don't know. And that's fine with you. That's why we get along, live and let live, and speak our truth.
Definitely. Definitely your brother from another mother at this point. I'm on with you like 4 times a month, 3-4 times a month.
Nothing wrong with it.
Nope.
Bring it on. Bring it on. One more before we get to the next story. B. Brown 7436. How can he dismiss an admiral with stripes and he has none? White privilege. That's how. White privilege.
He knows better. That's why,
That's right.
He knows better. He knows what's best for everyone.
Of course. And they didn't fall out early. They fell out as soon as he said, go get me that black guy. I'm going to mess with him first. Okay. I mean, that's what happened here. There's nothing that the admiral could do to maintain good standing with this guy. All right. It's just the way it goes sometime. I just wish that more people, and I'm not saying that there's not people who are outraged by the excess of the world, or the woman who called the little boy an N-word and then raised $700,000. The people are so broke right now through no fault of their own. You mean to tell me people are really giving this degenerate
They
woman
financed
money?
it all. They
Like,
financed that 700,000. I read some
yeah,
data that showed over Black Friday, like 95% of purchases were financed.
isn't that
So
terrible?
yeah, Americans ain't got no money. So
You gonna
that's what they
finance?
spending
Hey,
it on.
look at you. No wonder there's a population. They say, oh, the rich are getting richer. The middle class is declining. But you know who is just, well, we got an overpopulation of them. They're multiplying. They're everywhere. Stop mating. Stop mating. We've had enough of you. There's a whole herd of you offending us. I wish a Karen would.
Want to call the police on him for having a barbecue on a Sunday.
I feel free! Back off!
I'm going to tell them there's an African-American man threatening my life.
Doesn't work for me. And don't talk to him. You listen to what I say. If I'm paying the bill. You smarted off to me and said I got loud with you when I didn't. All I said to you was I'm bringing it to your attention what the cook did. Yep, walk off. That's the best thing.
Hey,
she did. She yelled at me and said,
Talk to your server like that.
no, I did not. Oh my God. I mean, damn. She said I got loud too. I got loud. After she told me I got loud with her. Get on somewhere and get my ticket. You're lying.
Come on, bro. Go home.
Seriously.
Please.
No, give me my ticket so I can pay for my stuff.
So what if I told you that that loud, sunburned Karen was mad about salami? Salami has her irate. This is what it's come to. Karen gets irate over the amount of salami she was served. Wasn't enough. Not enough to her liking. Salami? You know that stuff gives you headaches when you eat too much. I'd know. But I've never gotten loud over it. Really? The things that trigger you. Today we bring you the first Karen caused by a lack of salami. Doesn't end there. Continues. Eventually more people get involved in this.
These my people. What you talking about? My family owns it.
Go on.
They ain't gonna talk to them like that. Go on, man. They ain't gonna talk. Go on. They ain't gonna talk to them like that.
It's being recorded.
Go home.
You know what? Hey, this is what I think of your food. It's you know what? I'll tell you why. You're gonna charge somebody $1.25 for extra salami.
One piece.
That's what I got.
You guys need to leave or we're calling the cops.
Call the police, bitch. Call them.
Come on over here. Well, then, done. Why you even calling here? Come on, man. Why you
Come over here and I'll knock your lights out.
Yes, Lord.
This ain't even your business.
If you can't back it up, don't say it. Get hurt like you.
A deli disaster. You know, this may not be related, but I'll ask the team anyway. Was she wearing shoes? Was she wearing shoes? Is this something in me that says,
No
I'm
socks
guessing that
either.
the balls of her feet were dirty, if you know what I mean. Okay. Did she give back the one piece of salami? No, I don't remember. Or
She
did
threw
eat
it into the plate. Because she was
I
mad
bet you they
because she
stopped
spent too
someplace
much
else,
money.
so.
She said it was like $1.65 or something like that. And
$1.25.
One of my favorite parts of the whole video was at the beginning when she was like, "No, don't talk to my husband. I'm the one paying the bill." And then he was just like trying to tune out. And then he was like, "Call them." When they said call, they're gonna call the police. Go ahead, call them. We ain't got nothing else to do. They ain't got nothing else to do. It's Friday night. They somewhere in the middle of nowhere, Mississippi or whatever. They somewhere in the South for sure.
Oh,
That
for
was pretty
sure.
entertaining. I would have enjoyed that. I
was.
can't even lie. Like if I was around, I would have that would have been great. I won't even lie to you. I would have been highly entertained by that. When you
Yeah,
want your
it's like
salami, you want your salami.
you know how you go to those, it's not exactly Cirque du Soleil or the Universal Circus, which I always took my daughter to and
Yeah.
enjoyed. I told you I knew the little ringmaster guy. He was great. Zeke, what's up? Call me. But it was a carnival. This was a carnival. And so I think you're right. Had we been there taking the show on the road, enjoying a salami sandwich, I would never just eat a salami sandwich. It's got to, an Italian sub. It's got to have different meats and things.
It would
Capicola
have
and
to
all
be
these
it would
other
have to be
things.
more fancy for you to do all that.
That's
is what
right.
you're saying.
But I would have enjoyed the carnival show.
Yes. Yeah, I get you. In order for you to in order for you to crash out like that, it just got to have a little more meats on it. Maybe some ham, some turkey. You know, it wouldn't be $1.65 if you pay
The
$5 extra. That'd be
spices.
enough.
Then I like some, the oil and the vinegar and whatever they're putting on there. I wanted a true Italian sub. I'm not going to pick out and say there's, not enough salami. But then I'm not a sunburned Karen. Okay? Get her more salami. You can continue to denigrate the things that Black people, Black soldiers, Black men and women have meant to this country, but it's not going to erase it. You can try. Still happen. Trump administration removes memorials honoring Black World War II veterans because that's what we have all the time in the world to do when we're not interviewing sex traffickers and getting them to say nice things about us, giving her a service dog. When we're not blowing Forrest Gump out of the water illegally, we're requesting that you take down these memorials honoring heroes, Black vets. So much time on your hands. Black veterans who served in World War II returned to a country that denied them the benefits offered to white vets, including housing, educational opportunities, resulting in a loss of generational wealth still affecting Black families today. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. We did. Did you? Or did America reach down and lift you up? Now the Trump administration is attempting to erase their contributions by quietly removing 2 memorials from the Netherlands American Cemetery, commemorating the Black soldiers who helped liberate the Netherlands from German occupiers. That was a long time ago. We don't need to hear about it or see it anymore. The decision to remove the memorials was made after a complaint from the right-wing Heritage Foundation. I'm pretty sure my Black Republican friend does business with them. So keep him blocked for a little bit longer because of it. This, according to a lengthy thread on X by Chris Owicki, who describes himself on his bio as an independent military history author and researcher. One of the 2 panels described how 1 million African Americans volunteered for service during World War II, but had to fight against both the enemy and racism on their own side, including segregation within the Army itself that confined many to supporting roles. Owicki wrote, one of those roles was burying the dead, a highly traumatic duty as many of the bodies were severely mutilated. The second panel is dedicated to telephone engineer George H. Pruitt, who died on June 10th, 1945, while trying to save a comrade who had fallen into a river. The complaint appears to have come from an opinion piece written by Giancarlo Canapero, babyface conservative who accused the American Monument Battles Commission of failing to follow Trump's executive order for federal agencies to, quote, terminate all of their diversity, equity, and inclusion programs and all DEI offices and positions. So dumb. What does that have to do with honoring these heroes? Dumb. American Monument Battles Commission is the federal agency that operates military cemeteries, memorials, monuments, markers around the world. The remains of more than 8,000 American soldiers are buried in the Netherlands American Cemetery, which was created in 1944 including 174 Black soldiers. The AMBC issued a statement saying the panels were designed to be rotated regularly throughout the exhibition, claimed the Pruitt panel was currently not on display, but not out of rotation, according to MSNBC. While the Black veterans have gone largely ignored in the United States, they are highly respected by the Netherlands government, which refers to them as the Black liberators of Margraten, the village where the cemetery was built. Netherlands government even maintains a website with a list of Black soldiers buried in the cemetery. But many of those names, including Pruitt's name, do not come up in the American War Memorials Overseas website, which is maintained by the AMBC. It is not clear at this point if their names have been removed or if they were ever included in the first place. So this is another prominent case of America, look at your life. If prolific colonizers like the Netherlands can understand that you should honor these fallen heroes, and you're doing backflips trying to erase them, is there no shame, Jackson?
No, there's not. And you know, this is just a completely transparently racist move, and it's just petty because at the end of the day, like, one, we live in the age of the internet, so people can read up about these types of things. People can watch documentaries about how African Americans contributed in World War II and in the military throughout the entire history of this country. In addition to outside of someone maybe just wanting to look this up, like, this is such a waste of resources. People aren't thinking about World War II on a day-to-day basis. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like what was really the point of doing this other than to spite the Black community and to maybe give some type of a signal to 80-year-old white people whose dads were in World War II, because like all the World War II vets are dead now. So it's, you know, it's petty, and it really just shows how useless they really are in their mission. You know, like, what are you really stopping? You're not stopping the diversification of America. You're not stopping women from climbing the social and economic ladder. Nothing is stopping. And even like these companies that are ending their DEI programs, they're not actually doing that. They're just virtue signaling to Donald Trump, because you can pay minorities less than white people, and that happens all the time. You know, they're not going to stop hiring Black people. You can pay Black people, Latinos, significantly less. So it's like nothing is stopping. And all that they're really doing is destroying the economy and our place in the international hierarchy. That's what they're really doing, but they're not stopping Black and brown people and women and gay and in the queer community from advancing in the world. They're not stopping that at all.
No, you're so right. The point is the pettiness, the cruelty, the let me make myself feel good. It's like I mentioned Stone Mountain here in Georgia, and they've got these stupid Confederate characters carved into that mountain. People say, but our heritage. Well, then you realize that they didn't pick up the carvings until like Carter was the president. The hell does that have to do with way back when? Okay, Southern daughters. So yeah, in some ways it's not. I'll never say that I'm not human and it doesn't hurt that you can't recognize just decency and heroism. But Jackson's right. You ain't stopped a damn thing. This is Indisputable with Dr. Rashad Ritchie. Doc has the day off. Jackson White is here as our special guest co-host. Much more to come.
Indisputable exclusive, disputable exclusive. We brought you this first. No other news agency has this video. No other news agency has this story.
Every week on Indisputable, we do original, exclusive, investigative reporting you'll find nowhere else.
Our reports have been viewed by millions. Hosted by Sean King, Ben Crump, Senator John Ossoff.
You, through your investigative reporting, unearthed very troubling allegations about specific forms of abuse and discrimination in the federal prison system.
We catching these cases on camera. Just imagine the things that we don't see.
Our groundbreaking investigations and exclusive interviews bring you the real voices no one else wants you to hear. We tell the stories.
Imagine a prison that is so racist, the corrections officers contact me. That is a life or death situation being created. A black woman who was driving for Uber was allegedly assaulted by a white male passenger. After we got involved, roughly 24 hours later, the police all of a sudden opened up an investigation. What was going through your mind when bullets were simply flying inside of your vehicle?
Honestly, I thought I was going to die.
Did these officers ever say that you fit the description of somebody they were looking for? Did they say that?
Never.
Okay, that means they lied.
And we want you to be part of our truth-telling movement. Send pictures and video of stories no one else is telling and a 1 or 2 paragraph summary of the story to Indisputable's exclusive tip line at indvideos@tyt.com.
If you have more information about what's happening at this particular facility, please let me know.
Together, we're challenging the system, and together, we're making a difference.
I have the entire background to this story, and it is going to make your blood boil.
Indisputable with Dr. Rashad Ritchie, unveiling the truth, empowering the people. Weekdays at 2:30 p.m. Eastern, 11:30 a.m. Pacific.
Welcome back, TYT family. This is Indisputable with Dr. Rashad Ritchie, Sharon Reed, Jackson White holding down the fort today. Let's save you some money. Why not, right? We're all stretched so thin. There's no need for it to be that way when it comes to your mobile device, because Noble Mobile's here to the rescue. With the cost of everything seemingly going up these days, why not try to save money wherever you can? Thanks to our partners at Noble Mobile, you no longer have to get ripped off by big wireless. Noble Mobile is the only cell phone plan that pays you to use your phone less. Get unlimited data for just $50 a month. Yeah, it's a real game changer. Cash back you get for unused data, your data. Less data you use each month, the more cash back you get. You might be asking, is this real money? What can I do with it? Well, you can use it to pay your next bill. Maybe you want to let it grow in your Noble Mobile account, sort of like a bank account. You can also redeem it for awesome monthly rewards, or yes, folks, you can withdraw it directly to your bank account anytime. It's money, real money. You can spend however you want. Stop letting big wireless rip you off. Make a fortune from your unused data. Switch to Noble today. Visit tyt.com/switch. It's that easy. You know, it really is tacky. And I said it probably yesterday, who knows, all the days running together, that they're selling us the data. And then when we don't use it, they're selling it to us again. It's theft to me. Personal opinion. Don't come after the network. That's something big wireless would do too. We're suing because she said. All right, some more of your comments. TYT member, Mr. Kitty. It's what I call my wife. Idiocracy at its finest. Well, that could be for a lot of stories today. I'm going, what should we pin this one on? Is it the Karen story? Get back to me, Mr. Kitty. Tell me which one. I mean, again, it could cross the board. Mr. Kitty also says, I'm so happy there were other people sticking up and ready to fight for these workers. Okay, so he's talking about the Karens in this one over the salami queen and her husband. You so dumb. You really sit up here arguing, eating outside, arguing over salami and not enough on your sandwich, your sub sandwich. Okay, Crystal Knowles says, I hope she uses some of the money to get the help she so desperately needs. She doesn't want help, Crystal. She wants more salami. That's what she wants. Cosmic Uwus, good morning. Good morning. Shade Dragon, morning. Taylor Shelton, 3267. Hello, everybody. I don't know why I'm singing. Welcome to Indisputable. We appreciate you so much, Cosmic Ooze. One more. Octo Squiddies. If you work in the service industries on weekends, may the Karens be few for you. Yeah, I really feel like you have to put that out there because they're really stressed. You're working, you're not earning enough, you maybe don't even have health care, and you got to put up with this salami fool. Good luck. And all they did was the right thing. Get out of here. We're going to call the cops. Call them. Call them. Okay. Gee, man. All right, let's give you an update. It's the smile for me. We'll put it up there. This is the picture, but you'll see it coming up. It kind of says, try me. There it is. She knows what she's doing. I'd like to say she's got a nice smile, Letitia James, but I feel like she knows what she's doing. Every time she beats Trump, again, the smile gets a little more, I don't know, devious in the best way. Update, grand jury declines to re-indict Letitia James. There it is. 2 weeks ago, federal judge dismissed the indictments against former FBI Director James Comey and New York Attorney General Letitia James. Yesterday, it was back before that grand jury, and they said, nope, you can give us a ham sandwich. We're not going to indict it. They declined to re-indict her after a judge, as we said, dismissed the first case. Is she in the clear? Grand jury declined to indict Letitia James Thursday, according to a source familiar with the decision, a decision that came less than 2 weeks after a judge ruled a similar mortgage fraud case brought by federal prosecutors against the New York Attorney General was unlawful. The move by the Justice Department to present the case again to a grand jury, this Pam Bondi, is there any inflection that she can kind of bury in her voice every time she's in front of the cameras? And Mr. Trump, and we're going to do this, and it's going to happen. Oh, it's just so annoying. You keep losing. She just keeps losing and looking like a fool. They're determined to prosecute James, who's been on Donald Trump's top political foes ever since she successfully brought that fraud lawsuit against him in New York. Art of the Steal. That was kind of creepy the way she said it, but I liked it. This isn't the art of the deal, it's the art of the steal. She won, even if things got, watered down a bit. James was first charged in October with 1 count of bank fraud, 1 count of making a false statement to a financial institution. Charges are in connection to a mortgage she obtained for a home in Norfolk, Virginia, 2020. Prosecutors say James got a more favorable rate on the mortgage because she indicated it would be a second home when she actually wound up renting it out to others. Difference in rate saved her about $18,933 over the life of the loan. James's niece lives in the home and reportedly told a federal grand jury earlier this year she didn't pay rent. That's something my niece would do. Love you. I mean, what are you going to do? That's what nieces do. They're entitled and you let them get away with it. But you're not getting rich off of them. James had said she did nothing wrong. She argued that the prosecutor who handled it, Lindsay Halligan, very daft, she didn't graduate at the top of the class, I'll put it like that, was unlawfully appointed U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia. Halligan, former White House aide, Trump ally, personally presented the case to the original grand jury that indicted James. I wonder if she walked out of it saying, I did that. U.S. District Federal Judge Cameron McGowan Curry agreed with lawyers for James and Comey last month, said Halligan had been unlawfully holding her post. U.S. attorneys must be confirmed by the U.S. Senate. Do your job. But they can serve in an acting capacity for 120 days. Once that period expires, the judges of the district the prosecutor serves in must decide who serves as the top prosecutor. Siebert had already exceeded the 120-day mark. District judges had chosen to extend his appointment. Once he left, Curry concluded Trump could not simply appoint someone else to fill the role. Aside from the appointment issues, experts said the criminal case filed against James in October appeared very thin. The amount she benefited over the type of the loan was so small, it would not typically merit prosecution, former prosecutors said. And then remember, career prosecutors who worked on the case concluded there just was not enough evidence to charge James and have since been fired. This should be the end of this case, James's attorney, Abby Lowell, said in a statement on Thursday. If they continue, undeterred by a court ruling and a grand jury's rejection of the charges, it will be a shocking assault on the rule of law and a devastating blow to the integrity of our justice system. I think that's a hell of a statement by Abby Lowell, but given the times and the things that we've seen, I'm not sure it will be. It'll just be another day in America. It wouldn't surprise me a bit. Let's remind you of the ruling. The judge found President Donald Trump's appointment of the interim U.S. Attorney Lindsay Halligan in Alexandria, Virginia, was invalid. The Attorney General's attempt to install Ms. Halligan as interim U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia was invalid. Judge Cameron McGowan Curry wrote in her Monday order. Trump personally selected Halligan. Only the best people. Look at this glamour shot. For the role amid increasing pressure to prosecute his political enemies, including both Comey and James. And instead of telling him to stick it, she said, all right, I can do the job. Do I get a personal account for glam? That was sexist, and I shouldn't have said it. But that's just the vibe I get from her, Jackson. And I'm not saying that you can't be pretty and glammed up, and that's all subjective anyway. But she's just so irritating. I guess what bothers me is when I look at her photo and I view her actions that strain credulity, right? I see someone who absolutely believes she deserves to be where she is. And I know otherwise.
I think that she just kind of is taking whatever opportunity will come her way, and right now she's riding high with Trump. At the end of the day, though, I think it's good that throughout Trump's term, what we've seen is, whether it's grand juries or federal judges who won't all completely bend over backwards for Donald Trump and what he wants, because it's, very obvious that this is just about the fact that Letitia James won a case against Donald Trump. And it's not even like it was a super difficult case. Like Donald Trump's fraud is so blatant and so loud. It's not like people had to go looking with magnifying glasses real hard because he's sloppy. And he lost the case. And Donald Trump's always losing court cases. That ain't the first case he's lost. He's always losing cases because he's guilty. He had to pay $25 million out for that Trump University scam that he ran. And that's just one. He's always in court with something because he's a fraud. So it's definitely good for the country's sake that everybody isn't on board with his authoritarianism. It's good to see his popularity continue to sink along with the actions that he takes. But people, John Bolton was in Trump's administration because his mustache made him look like a serious military guy. That's how Donald Trump operates. So Halligan she's there because she's a pretty blonde white woman who would, look great on some TV show. That's why Alina Habba was there, and look at the job she did, as if there aren't pretty women who are good at their jobs. But
Thank you.
Trump doesn't think that deeply.
Thank you for cleaning that up. That's really actually what I wanted to say. But it's so comforting when you remind us as I get all worked up. My thumb is healing, by the way. I didn't believe you even asked me about it, Jackson. I almost sliced it off.
I didn't want to interrupt the show. You know what I'm saying?
It's almost healed. It happened. I was unscrewing a mason jar. Some delicious crab chowder.
Cut yourself?
Yeah, I did.
Oh.
And then I put this crude I changed it. I put some wound spray on it and stuff. It's fine. Look, it's so comforting when you remind us that you can get riled up if you want, but the biggest ding against Trump is Trump. He's losing constantly. And so that saves us from I'm not saying that he's not a chaotic guy who is hurting people. He is. But Jackson's right. His number one asset, the thing that he will always win at, is losing. It's right. He's winning at losing. I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, like on the one hand, like it seems like Trump gets away with everything. He gets away with a lot, but he doesn't get away with everything. He never really has. If it weren't for 70 plus million Americans who, felt that for whatever reason he would be a good go, he would be in prison right now. That's the truth. If he did not win this election, he would be in prison because he tried to overthrow the election. He got him on recording, telling people to find him votes. Just rig it up, just jimmy it up. Like, this isn't difficult, Unfortunately, people in positions of high society don't necessarily go down in full. But Trump gets in trouble a lot, in fact.
It's true. I'm thinking about this when you mentioned he was caught on the recording. I'm thinking of the one mobster who dressed beautifully, and that's finally took him down. Remember, he was Teflon Don in New York. He ruled everything.
John Gotti.
Gotti.
Yeah.
I love watching old mobster, just the whole chronicling of, what went down there. And that's what finally got him. Sammy the Bull turned on him, but also they had tapes and somebody authenticated him, and that was it. Trump, well, Jackson's right. 70 million Americans were the jury, and they decided he can stay. All right, let's give you the update on the governor of California, Gavin Newsom, directly responding to one Halle Berry, the Oscar winner, and her criticism, which was scathing. She hasn't been holding back, and she's telling a lot when it comes to her personal journey with menopause, and I'm not mad at her. Let's remind you of Halle's comments towards Newsom.
I'm also fighting when I go to Washington and I introduce a bill that will ensure that $275 million go towards research and medical education. I'm also fighting on a state level when I help states like Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Illinois stand up menopause bills. Actually, a good thing that happened yesterday, Illinois just became the first state to mandate coverage for HRT, which is hormone replacement therapy. But the opposite of that, back in my great state of California, my very own governor, Gavin Newsom, has vetoed our menopause bill, not 1, but 2 years in a row. But that's okay, because he's not going to be governor forever. And with the way he's overlooked women, half the population, by devaluing us in midlife, he probably should not be our next president either. Just saying.
She said it, didn't she? You see, that's what pretty looks like also. And that's what getting pretty good results is, too. That's what that looks like, because guess what? In an update, TMZ reporter caught up with Newsom at the Newark International Airport in New Jersey. And this was all buzz. This was on Thursday, shortly after Berry took to the stage at the New York Times Deal Book event. Gavin Newsom, who also spoke at that summit, told TMZ he has been in contact with Berry's manager. This is so Hollywood. We're reconciling that. I've included it in the budget next year. She didn't know that, Newsom said about Berry. It's unclear if Berry's comments had any influence in pushing the bill forward. I can tell you they did. Do you want Halle Berry's words? Maybe he shouldn't be the next president. He's devaluing women in midlife. I mean, that doesn't even require much editing. You just take that chunk and loop it. It's a great campaign ad. So he said, I better mitigate this. I better reach out to Halle. Get me your manager. And they did. In Newsom's office, they also released a statement. Governor has deep admiration for Ms. Berry's advocacy on women's issues. He looks forward to working with her and other stakeholders on this critical issue, the statement said, per People magazine, another Hollywood avenue. He vetoed the bill because, as written, it would have unintentionally raised healthcare costs for millions of working women already stretched thin, something he's determined to avoid. We're confident that by working together this year, we can expand access to essential menopause treatment while protecting women from higher bills. The bill Berry appeared to be referring to, AB 432, was vetoed by Newsom in October. Legislation sought to expand insurance coverage for menopausal care, provide incentives to doctors who completed continuing medical education courses in menopause, and postmenopause rather care, according to its text. Menopause, she's a great actress, she's an Oscar winner, but menopause has been in the last several years her thing. She's bringing awareness, she's talking about it, she's going into graphic detail of things she's gone through and pretty much every woman is going to deal with at some point in her life. This is Hollywood, this is star power, Jackson, and she's getting it done. How big a blow would this have been to Gavin Newsom? And it's not a done deal yet, if he would have just ignored it and let it go.
Oh, well, I think that, I mean, just when it comes to politics, he has an opportunity to address this. He did address it a little bit, but, if he's serious about keeping costs down, then he has, going forward, he can bring this back up and try to refine it such that costs stay down and stay affordable. So outside of that, I mean, the reality of Gavin Newsom is, he definitely has issues. I think that he's likely to be the next president of the United States. We'll see who else jumps into the race. It's still quite some time before that happens. I think that if someone's going to beat him out, they're going to have to, have some type of really strong, fiery brand behind them. But again, right now, I just don't know who that'd be. Gavin is very well positioned within the Democratic establishment. He's going to be able to get all the money he could possibly need. And just with how unpopular Republicans are right now, and with the Trump presidency, it's pretty much a guarantee that a Democrat's going to be president next anyway. I'm hoping that we get some more progressive politicians who, are really able to whip up some strong ground support. But again, that's still 3 years away and we'll see. But as of right now, I think it's probably likely that Gavin Newsom is going to be the next president.
Okay, well, it'll be bloody. We can agree on that, right? You got Shapiro in Pennsylvania who's calling Kamala a liar and she lied about me. And so, you're going to have this Mayor Pete pop back up into things too. I mean, it's going to be messy.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But I'm all I'm saying is I think he's in a good position, to take advantage of all the resources that the Democratic Party has.
Yeah. And some people like that. And others say this is a disaster in the making. Who knows? It seems to be that one Barack Obama is in his corner. It's just a sense I get. And there's some things going on behind the scenes, but we'll see. This is Indisputable. Dr. Rashada Ritchie. Doc has the day off. Sharon and Jackson. We'll be right back.
Hey, Andrew, what's up?
Hey, Cenk, you ready to make the switch?
Yeah, I guess.
I promise it's easy, universal, basic, and you get income.
Yeah, you keep saying that. But you sure I'm going to have coverage?
Of course you will. You think I would have bad service? I'm Andrew Yang. Of course I have good service.
All right, let's try it. But I'm so bad at tech. So, wait. Should I do this thing of the hashtag business? Andrew, you're still on, right?
Yep.
Oh, I see it. No, wait, I don't see. Oh, yeah, I do see it. Here we go.
I actually did not realize that you'd be searching in real time, but I love it.
How much do people actually normally say?
Yeah, the average American is going to save between $500 and $1,000 a year on Noble.
Yeah, no. You know what I'm going to do, Andrew? Are you ready to become a Noble member? The 2 buttons are do it and go back. There's no going back. We're doing it.
We're doing it.
Here we go, Noble Mobile.
Oh my gosh, I just called you and are you now on Noble and not Verizon?
Why didn't you tell me it was going to be super easy?
I know, man. Now you just stay away from your phone and watch the money roll in.
I can do that. Here you go, phone, yeah.
What the f? Cenk, you still there?
Andrew? Oh, well, at least I got Noble Mobile.
It was really just one take. The whole thing is wild.
It's in my shoe. It's in my shoes.
Hi, I'm Brett Ehrlich with Breaking News with Brett Ehrlich. This is Breaking News with Brett Ehrlich. Hi, Brett Ehrlich here. According to EPA head Scott Pruitt, climate change is not happening. He cited a meme on Facebook he saw. When pressed to back up this source, he said it must be accurate because the watermark said it was made by a scientist. So, your move, Truth.
At TYT, our mission is to boldly pursue truth, challenge the establishment, and drive positive change. At a time when corporate capture of our media, our government, and our politics is nearly absolute, everyday working people need a champion to fight for them and to push back against the powerful interests that threaten our democracy itself. At TYT, we're proudly progressive and call out corruption and duplicity wherever we see it, from Republicans, Democrats, or anyone else. And unlike mainstream news media outlets, we're not beholden to corporate advertisers, to defense contractors, to Wall Street, or to big pharma. We only have to answer to our audience, and for nearly 2 decades, we've accomplished that by delivering honest, timely, and insightful perspectives on the day's news without fear or favor or concern for whose toes we might step on or which powerful elites we might offend. And while we're super serious about the news, we also manage to do it in a way that is fun and lighthearted. We can do this together and serve our audience, and yes, have fun doing it.
You are the media revolution. You are much needed.
TYT! TYT! The place is like 95% TYT on.
Favorite channel, we're getting that message out.
Tank and the Young Turks do an extraordinarily good job.
No matter what mainstream media says, you have to listen to the Young Turks.
The people who support us on the internet, that's what gives us strength. That's what allows anyone who was in there who was undecided to think one side seems to be winning. They seem to have a bigger army. There might be a reason for that. So thank you guys.
Welcome back to Indisputable with Dr. Rashad Ritchie, Sharon Reed, and Jackson White as our special guest co-host today. Doc has the day off. I do want to get to some of your comments. Always love your comments. Let's see, Salami. I believe it, that maths, talking about the Karen who, well, she freaked out. We're guessing it was some deep Southern state because they didn't put enough salami on her sandwich. And so she created quite the disturbance. Octo Squiddies, ma'am, you're the loudest one here right now. Yeah, because the argument, remind me, Jackson, it started because the worker accused her of getting loud, right? I mean, she was being rude ahead of that. And then she was screaming, I didn't get loud until after you said I was loud. Is that right? Mm-hmm. And the husband didn't say, come on, you're making us look like fools.
He was just ready for it all to be finished.
Yeah. Well, he's used to it, don't you think? He's used to it. Let's see. Any more. That poor man, referring to the husband, see Prince Reborn Dragon says, it just is what it is. I think it's not the first time, not the second, third, fourth, fifth, than anything, but it is what it is. Let's see here. Teo 1790, knowing Trump's personal history, I don't think he understands the word no. Yeah. He has the colonizer bloodlines, it feels like, where I'm not going to say no, I'm going to do whatever I want. Nobody's going to stop me. I'm entitled, right? I'm entitled. And so he will retry and figure out how to engage with Tish James, and it's not going to work out. Deck says Eric Swalwell's indictment for mortgage fraud will also be dismissed. These actual witch hunts against Comey, James, Swalwell, nothing more than projection from Donnie himself, who was actually found guilty of mortgage fraud. And it's just not clever, is it? It's not clever at all. What a baby. Speaking of babies, when the super duper rich lose out on something they want, there's going to not be peace. They're not going to accept it like the rest of us would. Well, maybe we'll get them next time. No, reverse this. Trump ally, Paramount owner, loses his bid to acquire Warner Brothers. Here we go. According to Mediaite, Netflix has emerged as the winner of a bidding war for Warner Brothers. Discovery, striking an $83 billion deal to acquire the iconic studio and its massive catalog of streaming content. That deal, announced Friday, will become official after the separation of Warner Brothers and Discovery Global. CNN reporting this. Netflix will also obtain HBO and HBO Max in the deal. The acquisition comes after an intense bidding war for WBD, which included suitors like Paramount and Comcast. On Thursday, Paramount Skydance accused Warner Brothers Discovery of overseeing a tilted and unfair bidding process that it claims is biased toward Netflix. In a scathing letter to Warner Brothers Discovery CEO David Zaslav, he don't care about no letter. He cares about padding that money. He was making hundreds of millions a year, right? We'll look it up. According to the New York Post, Paramount Skydance chief David Ellison met with Trump officials and key lawmakers in D.C. on Wednesday. Why? Well, to press his case against Warner Brothers. Potential selection of Netflix as its merger partner, even as the streaming giant submitted a higher offer in the latest round of bidding. DC visit comes amid mounting pessimism from Paramount Skydance about its bid. Senior executives believe the Warner Brothers Discovery is inclined to nix its offer in favor of Netflix, despite the latter's regulatory hurdles, as first reported by the Post. Ellison reluctant to overpay for his larger rival, Warner Brothers, because he's got Donald Trump in his corner. So the fix is in. I added that. Ellison is being advised that U.S. antitrust concerns and personal gripes will be a major stumbling block for rival bidders, and that on that front, Paramount Skydance will have the backing of President Trump. For one, Trump is old friends with Ellison's dad, software tycoon Larry Ellison, longtime Trump backer, who also happens to be the second richest person in the world with a fortune pegged at more than $350 billion. No less significant, sources close to Ellison say, is the fact the president is said to privately loathe Brian Roberts, the chief executive of cable giant Comcast, who is, in many respects, the most logical rival bidder to Warner Brothers Discovery. Meanwhile, on Wednesday, Ellison was in D.C. with his legal team headed by Mac and Delrahim, Trump's former DOJ antitrust chief, sources said. I'm sure it's just a coincidence. They underscored in conversations with Trump officials and lawmakers in Congress why Netflix's proposed deal to acquire its Warner Brothers studio and HBO Max streaming service should be throttled on antitrust grounds, sources said. Combination would combine the nation's largest streaming service, Netflix, with the third largest in HBO Max, as well as a leading studio. This is so rich. I mean, all these guys are swimming in the same TikTok pool, okay? They've got us. They pigeonholed people all over the world and their First Amendment rights and algorithms and everything else. And now you're complaining that this isn't fair. You've cornered the market. In addition to the DC lobbying, David Ellison has sent at least 2 letters to the Warner Brothers Discovery Board, one which warned the company that it has no chances to gain Trump regulatory approval and uncertainty in the federal courts that could depreciate its assets. Well, that's a threat. Second, more strident letter came Thursday, just as Warner Brothers Discovery was asking for another round of bids. In that, Paramount Skydance wrote that Warner Brothers Discovery embarked on a myopic process with a predetermined outcome that favors a single bidder. It accused top officials involved in weighing the bids of conflict of interest, since they might be offered jobs at the combined entity if Netflix wins. I mean, they're going to be rich, so are they really working anyway? Whatever. How CBS News since Ellison took over. Let's get into that. CBS News editor-in-chief Barry Weiss will moderate a town hall next week with Erica Kirk, the widow of Charlie Kirk, for a town hall event that will air on the network December 13th. Ellison selected Weiss for ideological and editorial reasons. Weiss had positioned herself as this scourge of supposedly woke and DEI-driven liberal media, presumably a stance that appealed to Ellison, the son of tech billionaire Larry Ellison, Trump supporter who put up much of the money that financed his son's recent takeover of Paramount. All I know is I started getting calls from my friends who were in some key positions at CBS. It doesn't mean anybody listened to them. Some of the smartest people I know. I said, hey, how's it going? Is it getting rough up there? This was within minutes of the deal getting done. And they each wrote back, well, I've been let go. I left Wednesday. I left this day. It was pretty sad. I love it when rich boys get their feelings hurt, Jackson, and start squealing like little babies, little brats that can't ever. No means no. But truthfully, the squealing usually works for them and they end up getting whatever they want.
Yeah, usually a lot of the time that does happen. I mean, at the end of the day, we don't need further conglomeration of giant corporations. I mean, you just don't. I mean, I remember, just for example, I remember growing up, Monsanto was, their headquarters was in St. Louis, and they were bought by Bayer, which is a German company. So now, you drive past it. It used to say Monsanto, now it says Bayer. And, Paramount already made a big merger, and more, all of the commodities that we use are owned by fewer and fewer people. So, I'm sure Ellison's going to be just fine. He can wipe his tears with the rest of his billions of dollars, and he'll find a way to cope. But yeah, at the end of the day, though, just because this deal didn't go through doesn't mean another one will not. It doesn't mean that the landscape of corporate American culture has changed. They just got another massive tax break from the Trump administration, the repercussions of which we haven't fully felt yet. So the problem still remains.
Yeah, it does. They have it was bad before. It wasn't like we didn't realize what was going on. But the fact that it's just playing in our faces, this so overt. It's just fascinating to me. Shouldn't be, but it is. I got a question for you. What in the red state hell?
You can take a gun, shoot somebody in the face. It's not hard. Sometimes it might even be fun if they're a godless commie.
Now, what they're trying to do is sneak the COVID vaccine in your salads.
I hate math. Somebody say amen.
Excuse me, did your card decline too?
Sorry?
Did your card decline too?
Oh, I don't know.
It's like the third time.
Do you want to just cancel it and try this one?
No, it's okay.
No, it's okay. You try is it just $2.80?
Yeah. No, don't do that.
No, it's fine. Because $2.80 is fine. So it's this that you want, right?
Yes.
I don't know what's wrong. I can just put it.
No, please. I appreciate it. You're literally the best. But to be really honest with you, I got $500 here for you.
Oh, no, bro, that's okay. No.
You can keep the candy.
I mean, if you can do anything to promote kindness and especially to let young black men know that they need to stop killing each other.
No, pleasure.
It was almost good.
So
I was like, I was looking for the problem. I was like, where's the issue? Okay, now I see. All right.
I was feeling so full and
yeah, I was like, right in time for Christmas.
I watch those kind of videos. My daughter used to watch those Dar Man videos where it was like, so you see, and it turned out something bad into something good. Then she opened her nasty racist mouth without even realizing it. I'm curious, and I'm going to get into it with you after I give folks the details to see if you cut her some slack. It was a trip to Target, and it turned into an unexpected and concerning viral moment for JoJo Azugwu, a former NFL linebacker turned kindness influencer. Former college football player has taken up a career as a content creator who hands out money, gift cards, sometimes even flowers to strangers. He films their reactions. His Instagram is full of feel-good vibes and videos, except for this one. Chat. I wonder if anybody's told her. Does she still not know? After offering her a $500 Target gift card, she responded, "Oh, love, that's okay. If you can do anything to promote kindness," she continued, "so we're still good. We're still good right up to this point. And especially to let young Black men know that they can stop killing each other." What the hell? And that's why we asked the question. What in the red state hell? Do you cut her some slack? Because again, I watched you watch the video as I was looking at the screen too, and you were captivated by it. And I was feeling good about it. And we liked her. We probably felt, I don't know, she was kind of grandmotherly in the way she approached this. And then the floor fell out, Jackson.
Yeah, that was like I said, I was enjoying it. You know, I thought maybe we were throwing the audience a twist because I didn't watch this from the production document this morning. So I was like, maybe we throwing the audience a twist. Maybe we're giving them something wholesome and nice for Christmas. But of course not. Of course not. I mean, look, I guess maybe that's something that she thinks about often. I mean, obviously, you know a lot of where her sentiments must lie. But see, like the thing about a lot of like white people like her is they everything about the non-white world is experienced through a television screen or a Facebook meme. So they're just really detached, and a lot of the time they'll say things and do things that are offensive, and it just like it doesn't really register to them. But that's part of white privilege. And that's part of what you know, the more vicious elements of the right wing in this country fight for. And that's what they get so angry about. Like, I don't want to have to think about y'all. I don't want to consider y'all, you know, like I don't want to have to be benevolent for you little creatures beneath me. And that's how it works. And even if it's subtle. But yeah, that was
Stop killing each other.
I like that. I like that.
I did too. And this is why I go back and forth. Can we agree that that was not on purpose? She does, honestly, I don't even think she knew what she said. She actually thought she said something
I don't
good
think
and
she
righteous.
really meant any harm by that. I think that she's just an older, very white woman, you know, like that's what happened.
I'm okay with her today because she doesn't know any better. I feel sorry for her, but catch me on the wrong day, and I probably would have cussed her out. I'm just going to be honest with you. Catch me on the wrong day, catch me outside, and you never know. Okay.
I probably would have just laughed like.
That's probably what he did. I can hear you now. Tell people where they can find your great work.
Yes, y'all can check me out at Politics and Paper on YouTube. Actually, earlier this week, I put out my first documentary. We got about 22,000 views on it right now. Go check it out. I'm talking about the tornado that came through May 16th, talking about America's infrastructure system, the damages that are done, and how we need to be more prepared for things that we know are coming. So go check that out on my YouTube on Politics and Paper.
Nice. If you have any planned watch parties, I'll join that.
I'm in the middle of I'm getting everybody involved with promotion and stuff like that. So I'm definitely I got a lot of work to do on that end. But it's going well. I released it earlier this week and it's doing well.
Well, we're proud of you. We love the content. And thank you, Doc, for letting us fill in together. I feel like we're Doc's kids. I'm old enough to probably be his mother. But that's how I feel on this day. Thanks for watching. Thanks to the TYT family. We'll see you next time.